something I've noticed with a lot of my coaching clients. Coaching programs no longer open, by the way, but they were scared to scale up their spending in the way that I suggest, which is to set spending targets instead of saving targets. The whole purpose of making money is to be able to spend what you want and still have a lot of money left over to put back into the business. And once you go exponential, to move it into different investments. And what it came down to was they were afraid that if they moved their spend up to 15K, they were somehow locked in there, right? And in their mind, it was like, oh, if my bills are 15K a month, what happens if there's an interruption in income, or 25K a month, or 30K, or 40K a month, right? What happens if there's an interruption in income? And the way that they'd framed it in their mind was, okay, once I get to this spending level, I'm set there, right? I can't downgrade. Um, wouldn't want to downgrade, would feel like a loser, etc. I can't go to Dubai and spend 30K in a month. But here's how you should look at it, right? Because a lot of this money game is buying you the lifestyle you want, but it's also just about um, buying security, solving financial fear, right? Most of your investments you are hopefully not going to use in your lifetime. It is mostly insurance, right? Um, if you're planning on becoming a decamillionaire or whatever and adjusting for inflation until you pass, right? Most people aren't planning to die with zero. Although it's a decent strategy. There's a book on it. You just got to be careful with that one because you don't want to go to zero accidentally before you pass. I think it's a good idea to leave something to perhaps your descendants or to charity or things of that nature. But most people are trying to retire with something, or like you might not be retiring. I don't think I will. Um, but basically, you're not going to spend that money. That money's being built up and put into your properties, your Bitcoin, etc., as an insurance policy against an interruption of income. And if you're a true entrepreneur, you're always going to want income coming in, and you're going to want more income each year. Um, Maybe once you're a decamillionaire or whatever, you're fine with a slower growth of income, but ultimately you're going to want more income. I suggest it as well because gravity brings a flat line down. Neutral is just a matter of time before it goes down. The only way you know that you're not going down is to be going up every year. Um, but but basically the investment hedge, the kitchen sink hedge that you have, is ideally an insurance policy. So the purpose of that is to make you feel comfortable in case of an interruption in income. So if you're in a position where money isn't buying you that comfort, it means a few things. Probably you need to make more money. Making more income solves a lot of problems. You probably need to hedge better in your investments um, at the appropriate time. I still think you should really push hard into your business until you're exponential and then start to broaden out into the rental properties and all that other stuff. Um, because that stuff won't get you rich. It'll only make a wealthy person wealthier, right? And once you have enough money, you can actually live on that passive income. But when you have 50K, your 8% a year on your investments is worthless, right? That's not going to be enough to take care of you. So, with the purpose being one part security, but also one part enjoyment, here's how I recommend solving your financial obligation fear. Think of it like a car where you've got first gear and you've got fifth gear, right? Let's say your first gear is you live in Thailand and you spend 7K a month. You killer condo, 4,000 a month. You spend 3,000 on your lifestyle expenses. You're not going crazy with girls because you've got a girlfriend, right? So it's 3 dinners a week. It's takeaway food, um, maybe some TRT, all in 3K on spend, 4K on rent, 200 on insurance, etc. Right? You know that you might want to go to Dubai for a month, right? And you want to go with your friends, you want to ball out, and you want to have tables and bottle service and all this stuff and celebrate a milestone. You can go ahead and spend 30K in that month in Dubai. You can go up to fifth gear, and you could do that for 2 months out of the year every year, assuming your income's on point, right? And let's say you're making, 30K total, um, and most months you put 23K back into the business. On those months you spend everything, but it's only 2 months out of the year and it's fifth gear, and you're putting another 200K back into the business beyond that, right? And to be able to enjoy yourself. And you can plan in advance those fifth gear months. It doesn't have to be Dubai, it could be Brazil, it could be any of your playground destinations where you really want to ball out, you want to go with your boys, you want to have a great time, especially if you're in your 20s or even your 30s. You shouldn't be just like some of these guys say on Twitter, like, no lifing all the time and just grinding for money through your 20s and then expect to enjoy your 30s. No, you should have some enjoyment in there, right? Within based on how well you're doing financially. The better you're doing, the more you can spend. But that's your fifth gear, okay? And let's say Thailand, where you're spending 7K, that's third gear. So you're on cruise control. You're keeping the car in third gear. You feel like you've earned it. You've got 400K in the bank. You're 27. You expatriated 3 years before. You've got the visa. You've got multiple bank accounts. You've got some investments hedged in. You've got some gold in Singapore, right? So you've done a decent hedge. Um, you've got a decent sized net worth in the 300K, and you're doing 30K a month, spending seven. Uh, that to me is perfectly reasonable to have 2 months out of the year where you just ball out at fifth gear and maintain third gear throughout the year. Um, so that solves something for my clients to be able to know you can turn up to fifth gear and plan for it and stay in third gear. But they were still kind of stressed about the third gear, and I said, listen, you can have third gear, but also know in the back of your mind that you can have a first gear, right? You can go to Chiang Mai and live for $1,000 a month and stay in a $300 a month apartment that's a condo that's brand new or newly built. Um, it's not even a studio; it's like a small one bedroom for 300 a month, and eat cashew chicken takeaway delivery. Like if you're eating local Thai food, it's cheap and it's good. You can live on pad Thai, cashew chicken, protein powder, get your greens juice, a few smoothies a day, dessert every night, don't have to cook, um, and get you down to $1,000 a month. Still plenty for a girlfriend too, and nights out twice a week. Dinner's $20 in Chiang Mai, right? So you can still afford a girlfriend, still spending more on her than the average Thai guy would in that city. Even spending $1,000 a month is above most people in Chiang Mai. Like the nicest place that I stayed in was the serviced apartment, one of the nicer ones in the city, and that was a large one bedroom for 1,000 a month, right? And my clients felt a certain type of way. They're like, oh man, I would feel like a loser if I had to do that. I was like, listen, you'd still have the 300K, right? Um, you your business went from 30K a month down to, like, let's say 20K a month, right? If you were in one of these sort of high risk businesses like a drop shipper, right, where you're losing your PayPal accounts, where you don't know how long the ad's going to work, you don't know how long that store is going to work, you have to be hunting for new properties. It's not like kind of a stable stream of income like a legal firm is, right? Where you've got these clients consistently paying you every month. Or maybe a better example is like a pool cleaning company, right? They've got a pool, they need it cleaned regardless. You're better than the competition. You're getting that money as long as they have a pool. No rich person who has a pool is going to go clean the pool themselves, right? The only time you're going to lose a client is if someone comes along and they're way better and way cheaper. But if you're running a good business, it's tough to lose a client, right?